guys, Heeking here, bringing you some new RE9 news. I've been meaning to post some of this for a while, but I thought I'd wait until a lot more information came out so I could just do a big video on all of this all at once instead of having to do separate pieces here and there. And yeah, it's probably the third time I'm attempting this. The first time I attempted it, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait for more information. And the second time was this morning, and I lost all the audio, which for some reason didn't record all the audio. So that was my third attempt at doing this bloody video. So yeah, I'm just like, I have to go through all of this again. I have to read all this crap again. It's so annoying. But yeah, guys, I wanted to take all of this with a grain of salt, please. This is not confirmation of facts. This is just, speculation. And as always, remember to like and subscribe, please. And yeah, let's go through this. Let's go through this. I'm gonna start with the Lutux. Am I saying that right? Lutux posts first, and then I'm gonna go into the stuff that Capcom released regarding RE9 apparently, and then I'm gonna talk about the recent Dusk Golem posts and go through that. And I'm gonna give you all my thoughts and opinions on everything that's going on and when the game potentially is gonna be coming out. So yeah, let's do this, guys. Let's just get straight to it. Here we go. Okay, just a quick update. I heard the next playtest for the game is only happening in September. It'll be the first round of testing after the official announcement, which should drop sometime in the next 2 or 3 months. So this post was made about 11 days ago. That was back in April, basically. So 2 to 3 months from now, that will be June and July. I've been saying for a while now that this game is going to properly be revealed, most likely be revealed in June, because of recent RE games being revealed in June. All the main RE engine RE games developed by Dev 1 have all been revealed in June events. So it just makes sense that it would be around this time that RE9 would be announced. Maybe we get lucky and it'll be the end of May instead. But, you never know. But fingers crossed. Moving on. I think so too. It was just a way of expressing myself. The game reveal should be very traditional. So this was just regarding someone replying. So, 2 months, 2 to 3 months, that would put it around Summer Game Fest. Now, I want to say this. Capcom has never revealed an RE game at Summer Game Fest or at the Games Award. They've never done that. At least not when it comes to those 4 RE games that they released so far. 7, 2, 8, 9... Okay, yeah, as I was saying, so yeah, this post, like I said, Capcom has never revealed a game at Summer Game Fest. They've never revealed an RE game specifically, and they've never revealed an RE game at the Game Awards, so I don't see them changing their patterns now. But maybe things could be different, and that's because of the fact that RE9 should have been revealed last year, and it wasn't. Clearly, there was a delay, and now it's going to be revealed, hopefully this, in this month or next month, Who knows, but we'll see. It's a bit early to guess what the next test's going to be like, but from what I've heard, a lot of the early marketing for the game going to focus on Leon. This makes sense. If this is a Leon and Jill game, it makes sense to primarily focus on Leon first because he is basically the poster child of RE now at this point. Thanks to the release of Remake 2 and 4, Leon's basically soared in popularity, so it makes sense that he would get the focus. And it makes even more sense if this game really is mainly a Leon-focused RE game, potentially with Jill as a side character perhaps, or in a supporting role, maybe. I don't know. I've got theories on this. I'm going to go through it, but I'm going to read all of this stuff first that Lutux has here. I'm not saying Jill is out of the game, but I can't just come here and post that there are major moves with Jill right now, so it's not happening. I still firmly believe in Jill in RE9 from everything I've seen and heard. But part of me is worried about all the recent moves involving Leon as the focus, and I'm not talking about the recent playtest because it's natural that Jill wasn't in it. Yeah. My personal opinion is that both things are being handled differently, which is really big. There are definitely some points here. The playtest I participated in literally said RE9 on the loading screen. I can't believe something of that magnitude is an RE9, but something I still can't understand is why the 2 playtests are so different in core gameplay. So I'm gonna go over my theories on this regarding what's going on with this. I got several theories on this. The first one is that the Joe stuff that we're hearing about and the Leon stuff, they're basically being developed by 2 different teams. So you got one team working on the Joe campaign and you got one team working on the Leon campaign. Does that mean Dev 1 is working on Leon and the side team is working on Joe? I don't know. Maybe. And at the end of development, these 2 campaigns are going to be brought together and boom, there's your RE9 game. That's theory number 1. Theory number 2. Leon is the main character of RE9, and Jill is a supporting / secondary character similar to Ada's role in RE4. And Joe's campaign is basically gonna be like this unlockable campaign you unlock during RE9, or it's basically the separate ways of RE9, which means it's gonna be sold separately as DLC perhaps. Maybe. That's just my theory there. My final theory is that both of these games that are being developed, Joe and Leon, they're both RE9 currently. But Capcom is going to end up choosing which one actually becomes the real true RE9. And the other campaign or the other storyline or the other game, whatever it is going to end up becoming a spin-off title. So the Leon one is definitely going to become RE9. And the Joe one's going to end up becoming like a Revelations 3 or something. Okay, so that's just my thoughts there. Potentially. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this is a fact. This is me speculating. I would very much like if RE9 ends up being like 2 campaigns, Joe and Leon. That's the hope and dream here. But there's also every possibility. Again, if Lutux is telling the truth, there's every possibility that the Joe one is actually something separate and it has nothing to do with the Leon stuff. Because the fact that Leon isn't mentioned in Joe's campaign and the fact that Joe isn't mentioned in Leon's campaign, you also have to keep in mind these are testings for these games. These are test demos or whatever that people have play tested. Okay, they've only played a certain part of these games, so it would make sense that none of these characters would be mentioned in either one's campaign until a certain point where the story overlaps, if both of these end up crossing together. But if not, and it is like a separate thing, it's very, very possible that the Joe stuff is either DLC or it's a completely different game. Now he's saying here that he literally saw RE9 on the loading screen, but that's my theory. Both games at the moment, or at one point, were RE9, but only one was going to be picked for that. Sort of like what happened with Code Veronica, apparently. Like, it originally was meant to be RE3, but then it got named to Code Veronica instead, and then Nemesis took the RE3 title. So maybe something like that's happened here. Like, I don't know, but food for thought. It's food for thought. Something to keep in mind and think about. Anyway, moving on. That's really it for the Lutux stuff. Hopefully we get some more stuff in the next few weeks. Fingers crossed before if there is going to be a reveal. But for now, that's pretty much it. Hold up hope, guys. Hold up hope that we get this reveal at the end of this month or early next month. But yeah, moving on to the other stuff. Okay, so Capcom ended up posting like a video or something celebrating RE4 Remake having sold 10 million copies. So yeah, they did this video, I think, and in the video, I don't think it's like an image thing. I think this was a video, and in the video, people noticed this cross in the background. Now it's in the RE4 Remake game. The post, if you will, like the pole and the piece of wood, if you will, here. But this apparently is not in the game. So this is something that was clearly added. And a lot of people have speculated that this is a hint at RE9. Why? Well, because when you do this, you get the rumor number for RE11. So clearly Capcom is teasing RE11 here, as you can see. Yeah. So clearly people are reaching here, obviously. They're very, very reaching. Like, I mean, we haven't even had 9 or 10 yet. So I don't know why Capcom is teasing RE11 at this point. But seriously, yeah, if you do it like this, you get the Romo numeral for 9. So yeah, a lot of people are saying that this is hinting at RE9, and it kind of makes sense as well. At first I was like, okay, people are reaching, right? Because you spin it around and you get the 11 as well. But the fact of the matter is that this part here apparently is in the game. This, however, has been added into this celebration video that Capcom has done. So clearly that's a hint. Like Capcom is basically teasing RE9, and they've done this sort of thing before where they've teased previous games before their big reveals. RE7, was originally like secretly this kitchen demo that was being teased, but it ended up being RE9. RE2 remake, I'm not too sure what the teasers for that were. Everyone knew that game was coming, which is the case of when it was going to be revealed. RE3, I think, had a few hints in that before its initial reveal. Oh, right, I'm remembering now. The Raw, I believe you do hear stars from a Nemesis. I believe in the original, maybe was it the RE2 demo? I think it might have been the RE2 demo. It might have been something they added. I think it was the RE2 demo. They were sort of hinting at Nemesis in the original RE2 demo, and then obviously that was revealed like nearly a few months later, like before it was revealed in December, so a good like 9 months after the initial release. RE8, I don't remember if there was any secret reveal for that. RE4 remake, I remember being teased in a video that I think that was released. It was like a gaming video, PlayStation video that was like celebrating other games, and in the video someone spotted like the Lost Plagas logo, and this was like a year or two before the reveal of RE4 remake. So maybe this is something similar here that Capcom's doing. It's like they're teasing RE9. I think the best tease they did actually regarding RE9 was that video I think they did last year. It was like a celebration of Resident Evil, and the music, the soundtrack in the background was the Ninth Symphony or something from Beethoven or Mozart. I'm not too sure. Like it was very very obvious. Like it was a hint at RE9 considering the music they used. They could have done Moonlight Sonata, but they used like the Ninth Symphony, like literally Ninth Symphony, not eighth, not seventh, Ninth Symphony. So it's like RE9, yeah, obviously. But yeah, this is a cool tease right here. So, you know, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that this is a big hint from Capcom that, yeah, we're going to be revealing RE9 very, very soon. Fingers crossed, guys. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about this. Moving on to the Dusk Golem posts now. Christ. Anyway, so 100% fact. RE9 was originally going to be out by first quarter 2025, but it got delayed over a year ago. Educated speculation. I think it got delayed for a mix of reasons. Before I talk about this, delays are not a bad thing. RE2 remake got delayed from 2018 to a 2019 release. It got the delay because it needed more time, and that extra year in dev really did help it to become the fan favorite it is today. Educated guess, but I think RE9 needed the extra time to rework some things to be more fun. It's a big game with a lot to it. Likely some parts they thought needed to be reworked, and for tech reasons to try and make the game tech-wise as polished as they can on release. Want to put their best foot forward. Want RE9 to be the first new mainline non-remake RE game to get over 90 on metrics since RE4, among other goals. Okay, so again, this is speculation on his part. He's not saying anything here that's like true or fact. Like, well, actually, he does say this was a fact, that it was delayed. I do believe that. I do 100% believe that RE9 was delayed. Like I said, if you follow the pattern that Capcom has done, they've always been very consistent. Every Dev 1 RE engine RE game has been revealed in the summer, in the middle of summer, in the beginning of summer, June, basically. June. It's always been June. So when it wasn't revealed in 2024 June, I pretty much said, yeah, this game is delayed. It's not coming out until 2026. And of course, speculation on why this is happening, because it needs more time to polish. I do believe that. I also believe that, you know, if the rumors are true that this is an open world game, you have to keep that in mind. If this is an open world game, we all know that the RE engine isn't very well optimized when it comes to these open world games using the RE engine. Demon's Soul, Dragon's Dogma 2 and the new Monster Hunter WoWs, is it, that's been released? I've heard that there's been issues with those games when it comes to the open world because of the RE engine. My best guess is that after the release of Dragon's Dogma 2, Capcom decided to delay RE9 in order to make sure that it worked and played as perfectly as possible. They couldn't really save Monster Hunter Wilds at that point. It was like, yeah, we can't do anything with that. It's coming out either way. With RE9, they were like, let's delay this for a year so we can really work on it and fix up any issues. Plus, the 30th anniversary. Like, it just all fits together perfectly. A lot of people will comment and say, you know, that doesn't mean anything. And it doesn't prove that the game got delayed. But in my honest opinion, it does feel like it was. It was definitely delayed because there is a pattern. And they broke that pattern last year. So it makes sense for me it was delayed because they're trying to fix the issues they probably had with the open world elements. If this ends up being an open world game, we still don't know if this is an open world RE game. You can't really believe anything Dusk here says. But Lutux himself had said there were issues as well, at least when it comes to like the smoke grenades, maybe some other stuff. So I do believe that there's issues. Like if they really want this game, if this game really is as big as it is and they want this to be like the best one possible, it would make sense they would work on it as much as possible to get everything right. So yeah. Moving on. Precise timeline. In 2022, I talked about how RE9 was in dev but wouldn't be out for a few years more. In 2023, after RE4, people asked if RE9 would be out in 2024. I said 2025 at the earliest. which, yeah, I said this. There's always been a 2-year gap. RE7 to RE2, RE2 to RE8, RE8 to RE4. There's always been a 2-year gap and a 4-year gap between like a mainline game and a remake. When it comes to the Dev 1 developments, right? Like RE7 to RE8, 4 years. RE2 remake to RE4 remake, 4 years. 3 was in between that, if you will, but that was made by the side team, so that doesn't really count. I'm talking about the main RE engine RE games developed by Dev 1. So the assumption was RE8 to RE9, 4 years, it would be out in 2025. That didn't happen. In 2024 in spring, I said I had been hearing in the grapevine the RE9 had gotten delayed from its summer 2024 reveal. Someone who's done a lot good for me reached out to me to let me know they were sure it was still being revealed, so I backtracked. Then a source who's a 100% trust let me know I was right the first time. To note, I corrected myself before June. This really doesn't mean anything. You had a source who told you that, oh, it's coming out that year, and then it didn't. And then you had another source like coming in saying, oh no, that's not happening, and then you corrected yourself before June. If you'd corrected yourself like in early 2024, like I'd say maybe February or March, I would have had more reason to believe you. But he corrected himself literally just before June, literally before we were supposed to get the supposed reveal, and it didn't happen. It's one of those things where like he's always sort of backtracking and trying to like save himself, but since then, people keep getting themselves hyped for events, but I keep telling them I haven't heard or seen any rumblings behind the scenes for any of these events. When I do, I'll let people know. So he's saying he hasn't heard or seen anything. Here's the thing. He hasn't revealed anything about RE9. I know this video is going to end up being turned into like a hating Dusk Golem post or video, but I'm just trying to say that for a leaker, he hasn't leaked anything about this game. He only leaked one thing, and that was early last year, I believe, or maybe it was the year before that, where he said that Leon was the main character and that the game took place on an island in the Southeast Asian Sea. That's all he said, and that was it. No talk about the story, no talk about the enemies, no talk about other characters, villains, etc., etc. So it's really frustrating for someone to come here and say, I've got all this info about RE games, but then they don't reveal jack shit about it. Oh, I know that Code Veronica and RE0 are getting remakes, and then there's 2 other RE games that Capcom's working on besides RE9 and those games. What are they? Oh, he's not going to say, like, because he doesn't actually know these things. That's the thing. Like, he talks and posts in a way where he acts like he has information, or he knows what, or, you know, like, he's trying to save himself the hassle, the trouble, like, oh, this didn't pan out because of this. And if you remember, I said, do you know what I mean? Like, the way he talks and posts, it's not legit. It's not legit. It's not what a normal leaker would do. Now, I'm not saying that Lutux is right either. I don't believe Lutux. I'm going to say that right now. I'm very much on the fence. Very 50, like, on the, like, can I trust this guy or not? And I don't trust any of these people. Lutux's stuff, however, just seems more believable from a leaker point of view, right? Whereas Dusk, he's just sitting there in his little corner behind the screen, not really telling us anything. Like, if he does know some stuff, then tell us. But he's not telling us because he doesn't know anything. So, yeah. So don't ever believe what he says. Always take his BS with a grain of salt. So, yeah. Moving on. So, yeah, guys, that's my video on all of this. There isn't really much to say. I've said everything I needed to say. At this point, it's just a waiting game. If the game is coming out in literally early 2026 next year, then we should be getting a reveal very soon. And hopefully that reveal is at the end of this month or early June. Fingers crossed. However, the bad news, this is the thing that you got to keep in mind, the disappointment factor, the worst case scenario. We don't know when Onimusha is coming out. For all we know, Onimusha is going to end up taking the early 2026 release. I've been saying this, guys. Keep that game in mind and keep in mind what might happen. Because it's very possible we get a release date for that game instead of RE9. And we don't get anything regarding RE9 until maybe September as State of Play then. Because State of Play, it likes to always do one in September. So maybe we get something then. If we don't get something now, we get something then. And the worst case scenario for that is that that's probably going to end up being a game that's going to come out in late 2026 instead. Maybe, because I don't think they want to release their games anywhere near GTA 6. That's another thing to consider, because GTA 6 has now revealed that their release date is next year in May. So I think any game company is going to be avoiding releasing any game in that month, and maybe after, like in June or something, because they know GTA 6 is gonna kill them if they release any of their games then. So I feel like this is one of those cases where if Capcom does want to release a game, it's gonna be early 2026 and late 2026. Nothing in the middle. Nothing there where GTA 6 is. They don't want to release anything near that period. So, or maybe they pull like a Kojima or something, you know, like where he revealed the game, like the release date in March, and it ends up being June. So maybe Capcom does, you know, we don't get anything with RE9 reveal now, but we get it in September, and the game ends up being released in March. So they do something similar, like how they did with RE3 Remake, where they revealed it early, like they revealed it like in that period, and it literally came out 4 months after. So maybe something like that, because it's possible. It's possible. I mean, Death Stranding 2 is like a really big game, and yeah, boom, we're getting the game now. But then, to be fair, we've had like trailers for that for like 2 years now, so it's like you know, so it's actually kind of different maybe. So maybe it's not the same. But yeah, guys, I don't really, there's not much I can say now at this point. It's all just a waiting game. At this point, we gotta wait till the end of May. That's it. And fingers crossed we get that reveal. Hope for the best, but expect the worst. That's what I say. Yeah. I think that's a quote from No Way Home, isn't it? Didn't MJ say that? Always expect this, like expect the worst, and you won't be disappointed. Something similar like that. So, you know, I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping it is a state of play in June or May. I'm hoping, but you never know with these things. You never know. Anyway, guys, that's my video. I hope you liked it. As always, remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, I hope you enjoy Revenge of the 5th today. By the time I upload this, it'll be the next day. So yeah, I thought I'd throw a little Star Wars reference in there for you guys. But yeah, take care and bye, guys. Take care and bye.